My name is Gayle. Before I took the DNR training, I was experiencing multiple chemical sensitivities and food sensitivities for about 3.5 years. I started to realize that my living environment might very well be the cause of what was going on in my body. At the height of my MCS sensitivity or reaction, I was unable to tolerate diesel fuel, perfumes, any kind of chemicals at all. I was actually unable to use a cell phone because I had developed some electromagnetic sensitivities, or be on the computer for longer than about 15 minutes. And then I was actually down to eating about 3 foods. I felt like I had become a caution queen in life, that I was avoiding so many situations, avoiding eating so many foods that I didn't know what the ingredients were. Just living a life of caution and avoidance before taking the training. I heard about the DNR system training through a newspaper article in the Kelowna newspaper. I took the workshop last week actually, and I must admit I went in with more curiosity than skepticism. I was really excited about learning more about my limbic system. I think one of the best things about the workshop was that Annie was so sensitive to ensuring that it was chemically free, or scent free, and welcoming and safe for people who have had chemical sensitivities. I found Annie to be quite a delight, really full of knowledge. She's done her homework, she's gone through all of the theoretical stuff, all of the current neurology theory, so it really supported what it was she was talking about. And the process itself, all of the work she's done, was great. It was a really positive learning experience. So I think one of the things that I was really lured to the DNR workshop for is because I believe in neuroplasticity. I've seen it happen when there's physical trauma to the brain, and how our brains can develop new neural pathways. But I really didn't have any understanding of how our limbic systems could do the same thing. But I thought, yeah, of course I believe it's possible. I believe in neuroplasticity. I believe that the brain can change itself. So I want to know how. I think I noticed a shift in my condition by about the end of the 2nd day. I was going for a walk, and I actually came upon 2 scents that have previously caused me a lot of grief or stress. And right away I was able to move past these 2, I don't know what you'd call them, smoke and a dryer vent scent, and I was able to cope and manage, and then I knew that a shift had begun. So one of the things that happened when I became really chemically sensitive is that my sense of smell became so heightened that any strong smell became like an alarm bell in my brain and in my body. And now, since I've taken the training, what I've realized is that I don't have that same heightened sense of smell, so that as I walk by people who perhaps are wearing perfume, smoking a cigarette, a diesel truck is driving by, I'm not sensing to that level. I'm noticing the smell, but it's not like so extreme that I'm like cringing and turning away and actually changing my whole direction. That's what was happening. So one of the things I was really sensitive about before I did the DNR training was pressed wood products like particle board, because it's full of glues, and that seemed to be one of the things that I most reacted to. And anyway, yesterday I was standing and there was a piece of particle board on the table, and typically that would have driven me out of the room right away. It would have put me into respiratory distress. And we stood and had a conversation for 20 minutes with that piece of particle board there. I didn't actually even notice it initially, which was the greatest thing. And then I looked at it, halfway through the conversation, and I went, wow, great, look at this. Normally, I could walk into a room and not see it, smell it, and have to leave. And then I would ask someone, is there a particle board in there? And they were, yeah. And I think, okay, that's what sent me out. My response to chemicals has changed dramatically. A part of it is my understanding of what's going on in my brain and my limbic system, and I'm reframing my experience around chemicals, and so now I can honestly say that I'm not as fearful of them. I'm not as worried about being sort of side hit by them, and I'm just, yeah, I'm going places and I'm doing things, going into hardware stores and paint stores, and not worrying about my reaction to that. I think that the biggest change has been that I don't have the same heightened sense of smell. And that is the key right there. So because it's not so strong, I don't go into such an alarm response, and so I can just be there and I can go, maybe I like this smell, maybe I don't, but I'm okay with it. I think that my recovery process on the chemical sensitivities is probably 95%, because maybe there's a few chemicals I actually just haven't been exposed to in the last 5 days. I think that what I would tell to anyone who is going through this right now is, first of all, believe in the ability for your brain to change, that neuroplasticity is real. And second of all, commit to what is involved in making that change, because it is so worth it.